Hi viewers, welcome to Max IELTS tutorial. If you are a first time viewer of my channel, do subscribe my channel without fail. If you haven't followed the series of my videos, don't miss to have a look at my previous videos. In today's video, we will be discussing an IELTS academic writing sample test. Let us have a look at the question first. This is the sample test paper. You will have two tasks for your IELTS academic test. The task 1 will be a report writing and the task 2 is an essay writing. You can pause the video and try attending the sample test and then continue to watch the discussion of the solution for these questions. Before we jump into the questions directly, we shall have a recap of the important points to remember about the task 1 of an academic IELTS writing test. The time duration given to you to complete the first task is 20 minutes. In this 20 minutes, you can spend the first 10 minutes for planning and the next 5 minutes for writing the fair draft and the last 5 minutes for checking or going through your answer. The word limit for task 1 of an IELTS academic test is 150 to 180 words. As I always say, it is necessary to stick on to the highest word limit, that is 180 words. The task 1 of your IELTS academic writing contributes to one third of the total band score in your IELTS writing test. Finally, talking about the components of the report writing are introduction, overview, and body paragraphs. Now, let us start discussing the first question. The question goes like this. The bar graph shows the division of household tasks done by both the genders in their leisure time in Great Britain. Now, let us start writing the rough draft. The first component of the letter is introduction. In the introduction, you will have to paraphrase the given question. I'm going to rephrase the question as the given graph compares the time spent on the domestic course by both the gender in Great Britain. The next component of the report is the outline. In the outline, you must mention the important point. Here, I am going to mention it as females spend considerably more time than the men. The third component of the report is the overview. In the overview, we must mention the major striking features which are represented in the graph. Remember not to give any statistical data when you are writing an overview. So, I am going to mention the highest percentage of work which the ladies do is the work in kitchen. The second maximum time which ladies spend is to clean the house and make it tidy and taking care of the children. The fourth component of the report writing is body para 1. In body para 1, you will have to write exactly what you have written in the overview. But remember, you must not repeat the same words, but you must paraphrase the overview, but you should write it along with the statistical data. You can see that I am writing it as for cooking, males spend 30 minutes and females spend 74 minutes. When it comes to cleaning, males spend little more than 10 minutes and the females spend almost an hour. When it comes to taking care about children, then the males spend only one third of an hour and the females spend three-fourths of an hour. Moving on to the last component of the report writing, it is body para 2. In body para 2, we will have to highlight the remaining features which are displayed in the graph with the statistical data. So, I'm going to highlight the features like the male uses 50 minutes in gardening and pet care and least preference in washing and ironing. Now we are done with preparing the rough draft and we shall move on to writing the fair draft. The given graph compares the time spent on the domestic chores by both the gender in Great Britain. Generally, it can be seen that there is a huge disparity between the amount of time spent by male and female on different household activities, and females spend considerably more time on it. As the data suggests, the highest percentage of time is occupied by the ladies in the kitchen. The second most time consuming work is keeping the house clean and tidy. A similar trend is observed in taking care of the children. Females and males spend around 74 minutes and 30 minutes per day, respectively, in cooking, baking, and washing. Ladies utilize almost an hour in cleaning and tidying. On the contrary, men just spend a little more than 10 minutes. Women spend three-fourths of an hour and the men one-third of an hour with their kids. However, males utilize the maximum time, almost 50 minutes, for pet care and gardening. Moreover, for washing, ironing, and sewing clothes, males give the least preference, but females spend 25 minutes for it. We shall now leap forward to the task 2 of the given academic writing sample test. Before we start discussing the question, we shall have a look at the important points to remember about task 2. You can spend a maximum of 40 minutes of your time for task 2 of an academic IELTS writing test. In the given 40 minutes, you can use the first 20 minutes for planning your essay, and the next 10 minutes for writing the fair draft, and the last 10 minutes for checking your work which you have done. The word limit for task 2 of an academic IELTS writing test is 250 to 280 words. As I always say, it is always necessary to stick on to the maximum word limit, that is 280 words. The band score which you will be scoring in task 2 contributes to two-thirds of your total band score which you will be getting in the academic writing task. The components of the essay are the thesis statement, outline, body paragraph, and conclusion. Let's skim through the question for task 2. The question goes like this. Most people these days prefer getting news online to reading newspapers or watching TV. Do you think it is a positive development? Now, let us start drafting the essay plan. The first component of the essay is thesis statement. In a thesis statement, we must write the paraphrase of the question. The second component of the essay is the outline of the essay. In the outline of the essay, we must mention what the examiner can expect in the essay. The third component of the essay is Body para. Since we are supposed to tell if it is a positive or negative development, whichever side you're going to write, you must write two paragraphs supporting the option which you choose and one para supporting the other option. So, here in this essay, I'm going to support the given statement leads us to a positive development. I'll be writing the positive impacts in the first two paragraphs and the negative impacts in the last body paragraph. Every body para must have a main point which should be supported with subpoints and examples. Now, coming back to body para 1, I'll be highlighting the main point that is very convenient and cannot afford time to watch on TV would be my sub point. And I'll be supporting these points with an example of a person who travels long distance for his job. Moving on to the body para 2. Again, even here, I'm going to mention only positive influences of news on internet. The main point which I am going to mention here is since everyone is having an easy access to internet, the bridge between the government and people has narrowed down. And I'm going to support these points with an example. The example which I'm going to mention here is that there is a direct connect between the people and the government easily. Now we have written two paragraphs in which we have exposed the positive aspects, and now in the next body paragraph, that is body para 3, we will be discussing the negative aspects. So, I'm highlighting the few of the negative aspects like the privacy of the celebrities are being invaded. There are chances that violence and vulgarity can influence us. The language of the children can get affected because of the internet language. Coming to the final component of the essay, the last component is the conclusion. In the conclusion, I am going to mention that there is an expansion of electronic sources and so there is a positive development. Now, let us start writing the essay. In recent years, certain individuals go for reading news through internet instead of watching television news channels or reading through newspapers. I completely agree with the given statement. In the following paragraphs, I would put forth the arguments in favor of my views. Nowadays, due to revolution in mobiles, it is convenient to read news while traveling, which saves their time in leaps and bounds. Most of them are engaged with hectic work schedule. In such circumstances, they cannot afford to see the news in same place for hours. For example, people who travel for long hours to work cannot afford time to watch news in a television. So, they spend their travel time by watching news updates on internet. Additionally, easy internet access helps people to read news through mobile applications instantly. Furthermore, it acts as a bridge between the government and the people. Most of us would never meet our prime minister or president, but through internet we are able to watch them taking part in press conferences in live. For instance, during the COVID-19 pandemic, we are able to see our prime minister and chief minister's reports on live. As every rose has thorns, news on internet too has its downside. The paparazzi could invade the privacy of celebrities. Sometimes violence and vulgarity are shown. This affects the language of youngsters drastically as authors use a lot of slang and informal language in the articles published on internet. To sum up, the news through electronic sources will be expanding more in the future. Though there are few negative influences, I would like to reiterate that the influence of internet in our lives is largely positive. If you have solutions for these questions, then you can mail it to the mail ID mentioned in the description box for evaluation. If the video was informative, then like and share our video and do subscribe our channel for our future videos. Click on the bell button to receive the notification of the same. You can also follow us on our Instagram and Facebook pages. Until next time, have a happy learning.